How's it going, guys? It's me, the Domo Otaku, here today with episode 7 of Love Live Sunshine, the review. So, I'll give it that. I don't know why I always say this in every episode, but it's true. I find this series really funny and entertaining. I think I'm finding it very funnier and more entertaining. Not entertaining, but like more comedy funny than the original series. I just sort of find myself laughing a lot more in this series, and I think I know why, but I'll talk about it later. So anyways, guys, episode 7, interestingly enough, so what was it, last episode was I talking about the whole, like, yeah, they did, so last episode, of course, they reused the whole school shutting down thing, where, the school idols gotta go save the school with their fame and whatnot, and that was the plan. Interestingly enough, this episode features some unique things that I forgot about in the original series, but yes, in this series, the girls all get invited to like some kind of idol competition thing or some kind of idol showing, viewing thing in Tokyo, or Akibara or whatever. Yeah, basically Tokyo, and that's pretty interesting. So they get personally invited because their last video or their last song thing from episode 6, which is pretty good by the way, got them all the way to the hundreds ranking in the Love Live competition. So they're ranked 99, I believe. And that's pretty. I don't know what rank were they before. Were they like 5? I thought they were like 1,000 or something like that. And then they went up to the freaking triple digits where they're like 99 or 100, right? And I'm just like, damn, that was pretty fast. It's like, it's fine. So yeah, they get invited to go to some kind of idol competition thing in Tokyo where they have to go like basically just do a concert and like show themselves off and whatnot. And once they get there, it was pretty funny because, as for people living in the countryside, they're just so amazed by everything in the city, and it was just pretty amusing to see them. It's like, oh, people are gonna know that we're from the countryside if we act like this, so we gotta act like natural. It's like, oh yes, yes, the city and whatnot. So yeah, it was pretty funny to see that. And then, interestingly enough, they're going back to, was it Otonazaki, or like the city where Muse was in, and then they visit some of the places like back in the original series, like the steps, the shrine where they used to exercise and stuff. And it's like, damn, they're bringing back the nostalgia here. Like, man, they're doing everything. They had like freaking plushies and merchandise in the stores and whatnot, and then you had like the whole reminiscence and whatnot, like the shrine. It's like, damn, like, it makes me curious actually, like, what is Muse doing in this timeline and whatnot, because I'm pretty sure of course they're done being idols, they're done being Muse. That happens in the movie. Spoiler alert. I should put a spoiler warning there. Yes, yeah, basically we already know that Muse is done with their whole idol thing, right? And it just makes me question, is like, what is the whole group doing in the time of this? They're not idols. I'm pretty like, maybe everyone else like in the first and second years are still in school, like the third year's graduated, they're doing something. It makes me beg to ask, like, what are they doing? If we ever see them in this series just doing whatever, I'm gonna be so happy because it'll give some closure to like the movie and whatnot. So yes, they visit Otonazaki, not the school, but like the whole city, right? Or the town. And interestingly enough, we are introduced to 2 new idols. I do not know their names because they just got introduced, so I kind of vaguely forgot them. But yes, these 2 are what I like to think of as the A-Rise back in the original series. These 2 idols, I forget their names, apologies, are the rivals for Awkward, or I guess I would consider them rivals for Awkward, because they come up to them as like, oh, are you guys Awkwards? You're here for the idol competition thing, right? And of course, they show up and Awkward is gonna present, but then they're talking smack to them and whatnot. It's like, oh yeah, we'll see at the competition and whatnot. So yeah, we get introduced to like a rival idol group, which is really awesome because it reminds me of A-Rise when Muse was like sort of competing against A-Rise, and I totally forgot about like Muse competing against A-Rise because in the movie they work together. And yeah, here we have them as like, oh dang, these 2, like, it's an idol group of 2 only. It's like, dang, these guys are pretty serious, and I wonder if they're like really good or whatnot. But then yeah, the episode of course ends with the cliffhanger, their competition or their idol. I don't know what it was. I know it's a not a competition, but it's a idol exhibition or something like that. I don't know exactly, but yeah, like the whole group of Awkwards is there. They're gonna perform in front of a big stage with a lot of people, and these 2 are just there. It's like, oh, we'll see you on stage or something like that, right? Basically it. So yeah, that's about it for this episode. So really enough, the interesting fact here in this episode was the introduction of the rivals for Aqua Wars, assumingly, and just the revisitation of like Akibara, or like the place where the original series was held with Otanazaki, Akibara, the shrine and whatnot. It's really reminiscent and whatnot. And we didn't get any new song or anything. No one else joined Mew or Aqua Wars. It's still the 6, so yeah, it's sort of progressing. I need to look up how long this series is going for, because I remember the original series went for 12. If they go for 12 the same time in this series, then they might have a lot coming, because for one, the group has not formed their whole 9 members yet, so I'm still waiting on that. I'm assuming that after this whole event thing where they're in Tokyo, they go back to their home in the countryside, and then the third years will like consider joining Aqua Wars, or they're gonna have to like the episodes will start recruiting them one by one or something like that, because with here like the rivals are gonna play a huge part in Aqua Wars, their whole group and whatnot, and how the anime will operate and whatnot, because you know, with the introduction of their rivalry, they might like show Aqua Wars like, oh, we're much more better than you, or we have more thing because there's only 2 of us or whatever, you know, and that will drive the Aqua Wars to step up their game, or like, you know, of course, recruit the last 3 members, the third years and whatnot. So yes, also there's a lot more like Easter egg stuff here, or not Easter egg, but like more details about like the third years, and how like, you know, they're really worried about like Aqua Wars and if they fail or whatnot. But then of course I'm assuming that, you know, the third years and their idol group, we don't know if they were Aqua Wars before or whatever they were named before, they failed and then they quit, and then, you know, seeing Aqua Wars and Chica and everyone do the same thing they were doing, they're afraid of them failing and then giving up like towards their goal or whatnot, right? And they're trying to prevent that. So, you know, a lot of minor details there, but for one, it's really good, this series, that they introduced a rival group, and so late in the show, because in the beginning of the original series, I'm pretty sure Muse, like, they had a rivalry with A-Rise in the beginning, or not in the beginning, but like, I don't remember when they had their rivalry with A-Rise, but yeah, basically, you know, a little competition there is not that bad. And seeing that Aqua Wars has some competitors or some rivals to fight against or compete against, it's gonna step up their game and sort of make them think a lot more in this process and whatnot. So yeah, interesting enough, you know, I can't wait to see what happens in the series. So thank you guys for watching. That's about it for this episode, because basically I have nothing else. There's pretty bit simple. So yeah, subscribe, because next week we'll see, maybe they'll have a new song. If they have a new song, I could totally dig that. Or unless they're reusing the same song because they're in the same getup as last episode, but you know, it's fine. And like the video if you like this scene here, because like this moment where they come into Akibara and then they're just like looking and browsing and shopping and whatnot, it's hilarious, because they all like split off from their original goal, and it's like they're all just looking around and shopping. It's hilarious, because, you know, they're all countryside folk, and then they just come to the city and like they're just exploring and whatnot. Zera. So yes, I'll see you guys next time, next week when episode 8 comes out, and we'll see what happens then. So thank you guys for watching. See you guys on the next video on the Don't Talk With Anime channel. So take care, guys, and matane.